So the disciples said to him, "If such is the case of a man with his wife, it is better not to marry." But he said to them, "Not everyone can receive this saying, but only those to whom it is given. For there are eunuchs who have been so from birth, and there are eunuchs who have been made eunuchs by men, and there are eunuchs who have been made themselves eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. Let the one who is able to receive this receive it." So the disciples are funny here. They're basically saying, whoa, if I'm stuck with her for a life, maybe I'm better off not getting married. It's kind of basically what they're saying. Now, I don't agree with them, but I'm fortunate because of whom I married. I enjoy it. I'm lucky. But there's some validity to that, in that I know there's people out there who are pining over the fact that they haven't found the right one yet, and they think they'll never find the right one. But I can tell them it is much better to be single and wish you were married than it is to be married and wish you were single. I'm not going to get deep into the whole eunuch thing. What he's basically saying, Jesus is saying, God has a plan for every single person, and not every person's plan is the same. Now, there's some people who can dedicate their entire lives to God without any distractions, like a family. Family is a blessing, but it is also a distraction as far as dedicating yourself completely to the Lord. You do have earthly concerns when you have a family. They're basically somewhat of a distraction. But that's where you get like the monks and the celibacy. But Jesus is also saying that's not the norm. The norm, and for the majority of us, is to be the husband of one wife, and to be faithful to her, lest we be given to ungodly temptation. That's exactly what Paul prescribes in Timothy and Titus for the qualifications for a minister. You should be the husband of one wife. And he elaborates on this in 1 Corinthians 7. Paul pretty much explains what Jesus is saying. "Now concerning the matters about which you wrote, it is good for a man not to have sexual relations with a woman. But because of the temptation to sexual immorality, each man should have his own wife, and each woman her own husband. The husband should give to his wife her conjugal rights, and likewise the wife to her husband. For the wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. Likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. Do not deprive one another, except perhaps by agreement for a limited time, that you may devote yourselves to prayer. But then come together again, so that Satan may not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. Now, as a concession, not as command, I say this: I wish that all were as I myself am. But each has his own gift from God, one of one kind and one of another. To the unmarried and the widows I say, it is good for them to remain single, as I am. But if they cannot exercise self-control, they should marry. For it is better to marry than to burn. To the married I give this charge, not I, but the Lord. The wife should not separate from her husband, but if she does, she should remain unmarried, or else be reconciled to her husband. And the husband should not divorce his wife." So Paul goes on to explain, whatever situation we were in when we got saved, we should basically stay in that situation, because that's our mission field. Like whatever our career was, or whatever marital situation, where we were, like that's our first mission field. Wherever we first were when we met the Lord.